Well, it seems like my flowers have kind of rebounded since the little bit of rain we got. And we're having a walkthrough today because I planted all the seed I've got space to plant. And we're supposed to get rain off and on the next week, which is fantastic because we desperately need it. Look at there what that little bit of rain did with that eggplant. It looks real pretty. Just has a way to grow before I pick that thing. But all my plants are looking good. I mean, some of them were burnt, from what we had done before, since with all that hot temperature. But for the most part, they've kind of come back to life. And I was telling you I was going to put the mulch out to this little rock garden at the fountain here. I got that done. So that's going to help retain the moisture for the plants that are in there. And I got this long rock garden done, all the mulch put to it. And the big one out here. So hopefully when it rains this coming week, that mulch is going to help retain the moisture. So things should start looking good. I got a little bitty rose bush planted right there. One that I rooted from just a little stem over the winter, which I'm going to do that again this year. But I'm kind of inching down on my wood chip pile over here. I didn't realize there was so much to that load, but I got about half of it shoveled out and taken care of. But my rose bushes are starting to look good. My moonflowers here in my wishing well, they're looking good. All of them that I planted out here in this rock garden that I've got started is looking good. But you know what? I can see where there's been an armadillo already digging down in there. See that hole? Right there in the center? That's where the armadillo digs. He gets up in here and he'll root down in there to get water. And you'd think with all this rain that he wouldn't have to look too hard for water. But I've got moonflowers all through here that are living now. They're small ones, but they'll grow. One right there. A couple up there. But you can see they're all looking good since we got that rain. And even though the temperatures have dropped considerably, at least down in the 90s, my AC is just running like crazy. My okras loved it. It's kind of drooped down today, right now, because it's in the hottest part of the day. But as soon as it cools off this afternoon, it'll spring back to life. But I threw a couple of squash seed in there. A couple of them in this one. And I had squash and zucchini planted in this originally, and it burned up. So here on each side, I've replanted a gray zucchini over there and the yellow squash over here. So hopefully I'll have 2 plants coming up. And there goes my walking onions and the squash that it's helping survive here. And my purslane in the back. I forgot to mention that I have purslane all over the yard. Which, excuse me. You see, I've got squash started in there on this one. I just keep watching my watermelon and my cantaloupe here. I'm hoping I get something on them. Maybe since it's cooled off. But my cucumber vine over here, I planted an Asian cucumber, and there was another type of cucumber. And you can see, even though the top part is dead and dried, I've got 2 cucumber vines coming back to life at the bottom. So hopefully with the rain we're going to have, they'll survive. My onions have perked up right there. Those are white onions. And I didn't even plant a tomato plant in that top of that green stalk, but somehow there was tomato seed got in there. And look at there, it come up voluntarily. Tomato plant. And purslane. I didn't plant purslane in there. And that eggplant. And you can see my basil right there. You know, I had showed you back when I first started posting that I had broke it all down and had dried it in the dehydrator and how broken down it was. But you see here now, it's all come back up in between these great big pepper plants. So I've still got plenty of basil. And there's those plants I had planted the other day. They're looking good. They're not wilted down or anything. And hopefully I'm not going to have to water them. Because like I said, we're supposed to have rain about off and on most of the week. And there's that one. It keeps growing and growing, that eggplant. And here's all the stuff, you know, I filled in last week in between the okra. The okra's looking good. It's going to be putting out some okra pretty soon on these. All this is coming back to life. The pepper plant, I was beginning to wonder about it for a long time because it kept drooping down and drooping down. And since we got that rain, it just perked right up. My eggplant, it's probably grown 3 or 4 inches since that rain we've had. I know it has. That one over there too. And that one back in there. I would transplant it somewhere else, but I'm afraid I'll jinx myself if I dig it up and try to plant it somewhere else. So I'm going to leave it. And I had picked 1 or 2 of my peppers the other day.